We're going to start, though, with a major transfer development regarding one of the stars of world football. We at Sky Sports News have been told that Vinicius Jr. will be staying at Real Madrid beyond this summer, and the club has no intention of selling the winger. Well, he has a year left on his contract, but Madrid are confident he'll agree a new deal to extend his stay at the club. Arsenal have been monitoring the situation closely, but it looks like they'll miss out on signing the Brazil superstar.
Arsenal will continue to keep an eye on Vinicius Jr.'s situation still. I know we're saying he's set to stay at Real Madrid. This is Real Madrid's confidence that he is going to sign a new contract. He hasn't signed that new contract yet. So as far as Arsenal are concerned, his situation, as it stands right now, he's got a year left on his contract. That's why they are exploring the conditions of a potential deal with Vinicius Jr. and making it clear that they are interested. But Real Madrid are in a bit of a sticky situation because Vinicius Jr. has only got 1 year left on his contract. So in 6 months from now, he could sign a pre-contract agreement with a club outside Spain, and then he could join any club for no money at all next summer. And if you think about the valuation of the player, we think he's around £137 million. That's a big, big amount of money to forego by someone not signing a new contract. But it seems at this stage that Real Madrid are pretty confident that he will agree that new deal. Jose Mourinho, the new boss there, has made that return, of course, to Real Madrid, values him very highly, and he wants him to stay put.
Now, Arsenal may have to turn their attention back to PSG's Bradley Barcola, who is also of interest to Liverpool. Barcola is expected to have talks with PSG when he returns next month. Now, they value him at £145 million, as he still has 2 years left on his contract. European football expert Julien Laurent says that Barcola's talks could ignite another protracted summer transfer saga.
I think if there's a top club that comes for him now and find an agreement with PSG, he'd also be very happy to move. He loves English football. He loves the idea of playing in the Premier League. Liverpool is a massive club, obviously, and they need somebody like him badly. And I think he would want to play more than he has at PSG. He played a lot at PSG, but he was not the first choice. The first choices were Dembele, Doué, and Kvaratskhelia. We all know that. So it'd be very interesting. I believe that Liverpool and Barcola are certainly on the same page. There's no doubt. Then the bigger thing would be, could Liverpool and PSG find an agreement? Right now, what PSG would accept as an offer is way above the valuation that Liverpool have for Barcola. We're talking quite a long way apart. PSG think he's worth 150 million euros. I don't think Liverpool will go higher than 80 to 90, maybe 100 million euros, and that's probably top. So there's a long way to go. I think this one will be a summer saga like we've been used to in those years past.
Now, the winger market looks the busiest in this window as Manchester City are aware that Savinho wants to leave to join Spurs. The player signed a new contract last summer, so wouldn't come cheap, and City would want to be assured of a replacement before they let him go. Well, Savinho, who's on City's pre-season tour of Asia, is trying to remain patient and professional and show his respect to City, but he is intrigued by a move to North London. A new left-sided forward is a priority for Spurs this summer. Meanwhile, John Stones will have a medical before a move to Inter on Thursday, according to Sky in Italy. Well, Stones has verbally agreed to join the Serie A side following his release from Manchester City. The England defender's representatives are finalising terms over a 2-year deal. Elsewhere. Now, Zinedine Zidane is one of France's greatest players, of course, and he's back in football after being officially confirmed as the new national head coach. He revealed he turned down every job offer he received in the last 5 years to become France coach. He replaces Didier Deschamps, whose 14-year stint in charge came to an end after France's semi-final exit to Spain at the World Cup. It's Zidane's first managerial role since he left Real Madrid back in 2021. He'll now lead France through to the 2030 World Cup.
Aujourd'hui, pour moi, c'est juste une continuité, quelque part un rêve. Ce que je peux vous dire, c'est que j'ai eu des propositions pendant ces 4-5 ans où j'ai arrêté pour reprendre un club et je les ai toutes refusées pour l'équipe de France. Parce que l'équipe de France, pour moi, c'est la seule chose que je voulais faire après ma carrière, enfin après mon expérience avec le Real Madrid, c'était la seule chose que je voulais faire, c'est entraîner cette équipe de France. Je l'ai connue gamin, j'ai commencé minime, j'ai franchi toutes les étapes, jusqu'à arriver à la sélection A, qui est le summum. Voilà, il n'y a pas d'autre mot. Aujourd'hui, j'ai l'opportunité d'être le sélectionneur de cette équipe. Et je vais tout donner pour que cette équipe continue à gagner.
Well, Zidane's managerial career up to this point has been one of incredible success. In just 4 years at Real Madrid, he won 11 major trophies. That includes 2 La Ligas and 3 Champions Leagues.
Pour nous, c'est la légende française. Il a marqué l'histoire du foot par son jeu, par sa prestance. On aime Zizou.
Vu sa carrière qu'il a fait en tant que joueur, et même quand il a été entraîneur auparavant, c'est un grand joueur, une légende du sport français et du sport en général et du football surtout. Donc on est très heureux qu'il soit à la tête de l'équipe de France. Et là, avec l'icône qu'il nous a offert, la proximité qu'il a eu avec les supporters, avec les irrésistibles français, donc l'association de supporters dans laquelle nous faisons partie, c'était fabuleux.
This for him was the pinnacle, and I'm not even sure if he would take another job after this one, because that was always the dream since he finished his career, really. And this is the front page of l'équipe that I was mentioning. He's back, you know, and for us to have like Deschamps first and then Zidane now to take over with this very special generation of players is special. And I think he prepared himself. He'd been thinking about it a while, since February, the first few contacts with the French FA. And now he's ready for it. And I think we don't really know what to expect. We don't know what kind of football. He hasn't said what kind of system or formation, who will be the players. But it's Zidane, and just for that, everybody is very excited. Deschamps was great for 14 years, reached a lot of the semi-final, finals, won the World Cup, obviously very special. But for a lot of people, his defensive style of football was a bit too negative, was a bit too passive, especially for the attacking talent that he had in those 14 years, which is completely understandable. With Zidane, I think they should play with more flair. They should play a more attacking style of football. And like he said himself, as a former number 10, one of the greatest 10s that we've had in the game, if him as a coach doesn't play attacking football, I don't know who will.
Now, Kylian Mbappe has expressed his disappointment at how the World Cup ended for France, but on his Instagram page today, he posted "Welcome home" following Zidane's appointment. Laurence knows this is an important season ahead for Mbappe, following no major trophies at Real Madrid in the last 2 years.
He's been told that he will be central of everything Mourinho is going to build at the club, which I think he's very happy with. If you think of a front three, if Vinicius stays, with Vinicius and Diomande and Mbappe and Jude Bellingham somewhere in behind those three, it looks great on paper. Can they all play together with one football? I'm not too sure. Who's going to defend? I'm not sure either. That's for Mourinho to sort out. But on paper, that would be great. And I think Kylian will do what he does best. He's scoring goals. They need to win more titles and bigger titles, which they haven't done the last 2 years. So Mourinho is probably the right guy for that. Whatever happens, it's going to be popcorn. It will be Hollywood football. And I think we are all here for that. But Kylian will have a massive role to play, and he will have to be the main guy, which that's what he wants to do, but he will have to deliver.
Now, it's been a very difficult time for the Italian Football Federation of late, with Andrea Pirlo turning down the vacant head coach role, and last night Paolo Maldini resigning as technical director just 16 days after being appointed. Well, today a new era begins. Roberto Mancini is the new Italy head coach for a second time, and Claudio Ranieri replaces Maldini in the technical director role. Well, Mancini led the Azzurri to the European Championship in 2021, but he resigned in August 2023 to take over Saudi Arabia's national team 2 weeks later. Pirlo was the leading candidate to take on the job after Carlo Ancelotti and Pep Guardiola turned down the offer. But due to his commercial links with a Russian betting company, Pirlo was forced to rule himself out of the job. Well, the former Chelsea and Leicester manager, Ranieri, is the new technical director. The 74-year-old famously led Leicester to the Premier League title in 2016 and most recently served as a senior advisor at Roma. Well, he'll replace Maldini, who, as I say, left the role 16 days after starting it on Monday. It's been a miserable decade or so for Italy, with the one notable exception. Mancini brought the Azzurri their most recent trophy when he led them to success in the 2020 European Championship, beating England in the final at Wembley. Apart from that, though, it's been slim pickings for Italy fans who haven't been to any of the last 3 World Cups. Manchester City midfielder Rodri will be out for a period of time following back surgery yesterday. There is no timeline set for a return. Well, of course, he captained Spain to World Cup glory this summer, but he was playing with discomfort throughout and required a procedure to address the issue. He has a year left on his City contract and has been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. And staying with City, they've confirmed their defender, Josko Gvardiol, has signed a new 5-year contract. The Croatia international has made 122 appearances for City since he joined from RB Leipzig in 2023, and he's won 6 major trophies. He was named the club's Player of the Year in the 24-25 season, but struggled with injury last season. His new deal will keep him at the Etihad until 2031. Now to a stunning development that has sparked a huge row between football's 2 main governing bodies. It centres on FIFA's plans to raise billions of pounds by seeking private investment in its competitions, including the World Cup, via a minority stake in a new commercial property. Now, UEFA claims that FIFA has crossed a line and that, in their words, the soul and governance of football are not assets to trade. Reports claim that the proposals could personally earn the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, millions of pounds if approved by FIFA's 211 member associations. Well, FIFA has dismissed suggestions that Infantino could become chief executive of the new entity called the FIFA Forward Enterprise when his final term as president ends. It says such a move has never been discussed. Well, under the proposal, up to £3.1 billion would be raised from investors, valuing FIFA Forward Enterprise at around £15 billion. Thrive Capital, whose chief exec is Josh Kushner, brother of Jared, who's Donald Trump's son-in-law, is expected to lead the proposed investor group. FIFA add Jared Kushner is not an investor.
Now, this is what FIFA has confirmed. They are looking to create a venture to oversee all of FIFA's commercial operations. That could be worth $20 billion, so around £15 billion. And they want to raise, they say initially, $4.2 billion from external investors. UEFA have complained about a lack of transparency linked to that. JP Morgan, the bank, is involved in overseeing some of these plans. Also, we're told, is Thrive Eternal. Now, that is expected to lead the proposed investor group for the entity that will be called FIFA Forward Enterprise. The CEO of Thrive Eternal is Josh Kushner. He is the brother of Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. And this will raise further questions about the links between Gianni Infantino and Donald Trump. But how FIFA are pitching this is about making more money available to all the 211 FAs around the world to fund the game. So currently they are projected to have access to $8 billion over the next 4 years. FIFA are saying that this new commercial venture could give them access to $20 billion over the next 4 years to 2030 and rising. That's if it gets off the ground.
Well, I've got a little bit more on this. European nations will discuss potentially boycotting the World Cup if Infantino pushes ahead with plans to sell off part of FIFA to private investors. That's according to Sky News. Now, UEFA nations expected to hold an emergency meeting virtually this week to discuss their opposition to FIFA's attempt to launch a new commercial company with external investment, a source has said. So just to recap, European nations considering boycotting the World Cup if Infantino pushes ahead with plans to sell off part of the FIFA game to private investors. That coming from Sky News. We'll keep an eye on that story. Today, news of a major deal in Scotland. Celtic have completed a club record deal to sign the striker Casper Ho from Bodo Glimt. It's understood Celtic have paid £11 million plus add-ons for the Denmark international, who signed a 4-year deal with an option for a 5th. Well, Ho becomes Celtic's record signing with the add-ons, taking him past Arne Engel's £11 million deal in 2024. Previously, the record was held by Adam Eder for just 2 weeks, and before that, Odsonne Edouard in 2018, and he cost £9 million. After signing Crescencio Somerville, Al Hilal are looking to add another winger this summer. They're interested in Luis Diaz and Iliman Ndiaye. Well, Everton don't want to sell Ndiaye, who has a contract until the summer of 2029, and they're yet to receive a formal approach. Everton had previously held talks with Ndiaye over an improved deal, but those talks have yet to result in a new contract. Bayern's Diaz is also of interest to Al Hilal, according to Sky in Germany. Now, he wants to stay in Bavaria and isn't considering a move away at this stage. The German champions are also keen to hold on to him.